Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So quite a while ago now, when I first started my channel, I did this video and I loved filming it because in general in makeup, palettes is something that I absolutely love, and if there's like one thing that comes out and I want, it's always the palette. So as I loved filming it so much back then, it has obviously like been Christmas and my birthday and stuff, so I have gained quite a few new palettes. So on that note, I thought I'd film another updated palette collection. So I might briefly explain some of the ones I had before, because if you haven't watched that video, you're not going to know which ones I had. So literally I'm going to do like a vlog type style, and not vlog but like hold my camera handheld and show you what is in my drawer and how I sort of like what is it called, store them. I'm going to show you how I store them, and then I'll go through them all in more detail. So yeah, let's go. So this is the drawer of which I store all of my palettes. As you can see, there is a fair few, but I do actually pretty much use all of these, and sometimes I do use all of them on like a daily basis. There's not really any organisation to like face palettes and eye palettes and stuff. They're sort of more mixed up, maybe to brand I'd probably say. So here I have my Benefit ones. I got both of these. I got this one for Christmas and this one for my birthday. This is the Real Cheeky Party one, which is really good if you haven't tried out the blushes and bronzers, because you obviously get them all in here. I then have this one, which is the Party to the Peepers, which I'm pretty sure there's nothing in. Oh, there is. And you get these really good creaseless eyeshadows, which are really, really good. I then have some Urban Decay, like I have the Naked, which I love. And then down here I have a Makeup Revolution, LA Girl, the Balm Nude. Was it the Nude? This is the Nude 2. This is not very good. It's not that pigmented. This Misguided one, which I haven't used yet because I was going to save that. I was going to save this for a video. So if you'd like this, comment below. I have the mother of all eye palettes, which obviously is Urban Decay. Everyone has these palettes, they're so good. My favourite one is probably Naked 2. That was my first ever palette actually, and that is my favourite. I then have the Semi Sweet and the Chocolate Bar palette, the Kat Von D Eye and the Kat Von D Contour palette, again one of my favourites. This is my MAC Custom palette, which again I probably use this on a daily basis. I love this. You can see how like battered this is, but this is excellent. Then down here I have the Benefit, I think this is called like the Cabana Glamour palette. That is really good. I then have down here, which I managed to get quite a few of these at Christmas, I have a few Sleek palettes. So if I can get this open, this is this Sleek palette, and I haven't actually properly played about with this yet, so I could, again, I've owned Sleek palettes before but none like this one, and I really love the shades in this, so I might film a video with this. I have a Sleek Cheek palette, which again, these blushes are to die for, and I've actually not used these for blushes, but I've used them on my eyes and they are so pigmented and so good. I have a Sleek contour kit. I have my highlighting Solstice palette, which again I probably use on a daily basis. I have a backup of one of those as well. I have a Soap and Glory eyes box, which has quite a few like eye bits in it. I then have this, which I don't know if anybody remembers this. This is the Naked on the Run. This was so nice when it first came out, and I still use it to this day. Like, hello. I then have this one. This is my favourite. This is my Shan XO one. I think you've all seen that before. I then have this Laura Geller on the Go one, which was kindly sent to me, and oh my god, guys, this highlight is to die for. It is so good. I then have my favourite contour kit by NYX, and I've actually run out of this shade and I need to get a refill. I then have the Carly Bible palette, which is again amazing. These two W7 ones, which are really good as well. And then I have my box. Here's my Too Faced palettes, because I don't know about you guys, but because I just don't like throwing the packaging to my palettes away, because I don't know, it's like just big palettes in general, like obviously you don't need the box on it, but I just like to keep it. So yeah, so that is the drawer. So I think you guys just saw I do have a lot of palettes, but palettes are just something that I love to collect. So I'm going to show you guys some of my favorites. I was going to put all of them in here, but I came to the conclusion that it's probably going to be a very long video. So I've been able to narrow it down to my favorites. There's still a lot there. We're going to try and get through this video as quick as I can, but let's go. So in general, I think well, obviously these are actually all high-end. Drugstores don't obviously tend to have, they obviously have the smaller palettes. I love using them, I use them a lot, but in general I do use the big palettes. I think like everyone does. So we're going to start with one of my newest palettes. This is the Too Faced and Kat Von D collaboration palette. I've done a video on this before. I haven't done a proper look on it yet, but I can do if you guys would like to see it. It was obviously limited edition. This cost me £90 to get over to the UK, like obviously including like prices, taxes and fees and stuff like that. It comes apart like this. It's very, very good. I think the pigmentation of these colours is amazing. Like, look at that. Like, obviously this palette was expensive, but I think it's so cool that you could have got a palette which was obviously, not a lot of brands do this, like you wouldn't be able to find a palette which was like obviously mixed between two brands. So I thought the opportunity to have this was so good. And again, like when products come out, the one thing I do like to buy is palettes, so I did really want this and I do have it, and I just think the colours in them are very, very unique. Like this colour here is beautiful. The Better Together shade is so nice. This is called the Too Faced Better Together palette. I just really like this. I think overall the whole palette is really nice. It's extremely unique, and my favourite shade out of this palette is Swoon, which is this deep red shade, and I love that. So next up, these two palettes. So one of these palettes is my newest palettes to my collection, and one of them I got for my birthday. So we'll start off with one I got for my birthday, which is the Morphe 35T. Guys, this palette is amazing. This is probably actually my favourite one out of my Morphe palettes. The shades are so pigmented. I don't know how many times I can say it. Like honestly, when you wear eyeshadow, I always need Fix Plus, like get that bit of like intensity of the glitter. You don't need that with these colours. Like I'm gonna use this one here. This has got a really nice selection of golds, and like look at that. If I just swatch that for you guys, look, can you see that? So these as well, I just think these for value for money. Like I'm gonna be honest here, that Too Faced palette was, that Too Faced and that Better Together collaboration palette cost me £90 to get here. These palettes cost £23, and the amount of shades you get, how much more pigmented they are than many like other palettes. If I was gonna get any palette probably out of this whole video, they'd probably be Morphe palettes, because you can't really beat them. And then the other one I have is the Morphe 35OM 358 matte one. That is what the M stands for. In here is this. The reason I got this obviously was I was going to get the shimmer one, but I do love shimmers, but I just really wanted a palette which had a really nice range of oranges which I could use in my crease. And obviously you can use shimmers in the crease, but I obviously like to use like matte ones as transition shades. So I got this one. The reason for this palette was this shade and this shade. Honestly, like, oh my god, they are so pigmented, they are so good. Like I can't express to anyone how good this palette is. Obviously they are so hard to get, like they are always out of stock, but if you can get your hands on one, definitely get the 35M. And then one really good thing about this palette, which I didn't actually think of when I was getting it, was how good for eyebrows it was. I think for any person this palette in general would be really good for eyebrows. Now there's like, as you can see, there's like 8 shades which have got like hot, like constant dents in them. That's where I dip my eyebrow brush into each shade, like to get the right colour. I used it on my eyebrows today. It's just so good for eyebrows as well, and I love this palette. The next two I have are from GH0STBLONDIE. I don't know if I featured this in my last video or not. I don't think I did, but these are both by GH0STBLONDIE. We'll start with this one. This is the Carly Bible collaboration. Oh my god, guys, look at that. So this is a range of, I think there's 6. I'm not sure if that's a shimmer or not. It's a range of shimmers and matte eyeshadows, all extremely warm. You get 4 highlighters, all very good for each different skin tone. Obviously the highlighters can be used for eyeshadow as well. They're so like unique, the shades, and there's no other palette like this, I don't feel. But you can create a whole, one thing I love about this palette is that you can create a whole look with it. Like it's not just one set of colours, like there's a range of different warm ones. There's dark, there's light, there's like a base shade, a transition shade, a lid shade, and then a highlight. This is like so cheap as well. I think you can get these on Beauty Bay now, I think, and they'll cost you like £12, which again, the pigmentation of these is incredible. And obviously, like, it's a collaboration with a YouTuber, and many of them can be limited to the country they live in. So the fact that you can get this here in the UK and Kylie Bibles obviously in America is again amazing, and I would definitely recommend this palette. Then I've spoke about this one a lot. This is the GH0STBLONDIE collaboration. I've hit pan on many of these shades. I use this palette on the daily basis. Literally, this shade here is beautiful. It's like a deep dark like wine red. It's really, really nice. The shimmers, I've never seen shimmers like this in this palette. Again, they're very similar to the Morphe ones where they're really, really pigmented. This yellow shade here is extremely unique. It's really good as a transition shade, and I just love this palette so much. And as I said in one of my other videos, if you would like to see a lip swatch video of these, I haven't touched these yet because I kept saving them for a video and I've never used them still. So I'm going to do a lip swatching video of these because I haven't tried them out yet. I don't know why. One of the next palettes I was kindly sent by this brand, and oh my god, I got sent this from Tarte. Like, what the hell? Like, so this palette honestly is probably actually one of my favorite palettes I own. It's probably one of my favorite palettes I own. Yeah. So basically, this is the palette. It's probably, I'd say, a very warm palette. As you can see, you get 9 eyeshadows and like 3 like face ones. You get a bronzer, a blush, and a highlight. The highlight is incredible. I'd probably wear that on a daily basis again. The bronzer's quite warm but cool at the same time. Like, it's weird. It's really, really nice, and it's definitely very, very unique. It's obviously Bunny's collaboration, the Graveyard Girl palette. I think this palette is very like, I do think this palette is very unique, like the names as well. Like, the blush is called Does This Thing Really Work? There's Dogman, Sippy Sippy, Sassy Bun. I just think everything is so, so unique and really, really nice. My favourite shades is Dogman and Man Cat as like the matte ones. That's this one here and this one here. This is so nice, this shade. And then as a lid shade, I love Sassy Bun, which is this nice gold middle shade. And then the highlight in general, like, look at that. I've never actually used a highlight like this. It's so pigmented. Tarte eyeshadows I knew were known to be like obviously very, very good, but I never realised how good they were. This is the first thing I've ever tried from Tarte, and I would definitely buy something like from them because amazing. Then have this palette. This is again not a recent purchase, but I did get this quite close to Christmas. This is the Vice Urban Decay Full Spectrum palette. I believe this was limited edition, and it just looks something like this. Many people probably wouldn't buy it because it's quite different. I do agree there are probably quite a few shades that some people wouldn't use. I have used every shade in this palette. I love it so much. I've even used like these blue and green shades. My favourite colours in this palette is Gold Mine, which is this one right here. It's a very like copper, like gold coin shade for your lid. It's so nice, and probably C's, as you can see, because I've hit pan on that, and that's just like a proper red. Like, if you want an eyeshadow which is just red, that's it. Like, they are so pigmented. They're not chalky, I don't think, at all. They're probably one of the most pigmented Urban Decay palettes I own, and it's so, so nice, and I love it so much. It was more on the pricey side. I think this was about £45, which is quite expensive for an Urban Decay palette, as most of them are all 38, but it was limited edition. You do get so many shades in here, and I love it so much. I then have these two palettes, which I know I didn't feature in my other video, and these are the Mariah Carey collection ones. I got one for Christmas and one I bought myself. We'll start with this one, which is called It's Everything. The packaging of these are on par with the Cinderella collection. I don't think they're as nice as the Cinderella collection because, well, I just think the Cinderella collection was very unique. It was like holographic blue. Like, I think the Cinderella collection was like the nicest one. I do have that palette. It is there, but I did feature that in my other video, so I'm not going to feature that one. But these are the shades. These are, again, I do think sometimes MAC limited edition palettes like this can be quite hit and miss. I don't think these ones were at all. These palettes are so good. I think one thing that MAC sometimes lacks with some of their palettes is you can't create a full look with them. You can with both of these. Like, I'll show you both of them together. So although people thought these palettes were quite similar. I do think, like, obviously here they look quite similar, but they are very different. This shade is really yellow, and I love this shade so much. It looks so nice if you buff the outer, the palette called I'm That Chick, so if you was to buff, this is quite a red shade, buff this into the crease and add this shimmer, like, you're good to go. And it's got like this quite deep greyish black shade as an eyeliner, would work so well. So I think you can create a really nice look with these, and very unique. Like, this was limited edition by MAC. I love MAC limited edition palettes. I do think they are always really, really good. And yeah, it's everything. The packaging is like gold with glitter around the edge, and I just think that was a really nice touch, and it's really nice. And then back to Urban Decay, we have the Urban Decay Naked Basics palette. I love this palette so much. It's definitely, like, obviously the ultimate basics. If you haven't got any other eyeshadow palettes, I think you can, if you like mattes and you use mattes like every day and you don't really like shimmers, then you could definitely create, obviously, a full look with this. It's so nice. There's a shade in here for everyone. I particularly love the shade Extra Bitter. I think that's a really nice shade. I love the shade Lethal. This is a lot darker than it actually looks, but it creates a really nice burgundy shade eyeliner, which I really love. There's the black, which is Blackjack, which I love black shades as an eyeshadow because I just think it's a really great alternative for black eyeliner to use a black eyeshadow, because if you do mess it up, it's that little bit easier to maybe correct. These shades here are really nice. I think this is overall quite warm but also quite cool. I think spending the money then on a palette like that, you're getting what you pay for because you've got that range of both. So I really like this shade. I think the packaging is really sleek. It feels a lot like, it feels very, very expensive, I think, this one, and I just love this. And I do think it's very unique what Urban Decay have done, and I just really, really love this one. I then have this palette. The palette is the Ultimate Sculpt and Define palette, Magic Mineral Contour Kit. But this is by the makers, you've probably seen the advert of like Magic Minerals and stuff. I got sent this. It looks like this. When you open it up, it looks like this. There is a reason why all these shades are nearly gone. This is one of the best contour kits I have ever used. I'm pretty sure this is about £30. I think it's probably maybe a bit better than the Anastasia one. Like, it's so good. It's so pigmented. I've done a full blog post on this, so make sure you check that out. I'll leave it down below. I used to use this shade every single day and then it ran out, so I do need to repurchase this. The contour shades are very, very nice, very, very pigmented, exactly the same as the highlighting shades. The shadow shade is so pigmented. I think all three of these shades are quite light and they will suit everyone's skin tones. Just if you haven't tried this out and you really want a really good contour kit, I'd probably recommend trying this first. It's very accessible in lots of countries. So I'd just say if you're looking for a good contour kit, try out this one. I can't exactly pronounce the name, so I'll leave it in the down bar below, but I would really, really recommend this palette. So the next two palettes I have are by Too Faced. I love Too Faced eyeshadow palettes so much. I just love Too Faced in general. I think everything and their attention to creativity and their attention to the actual packaging is so good and unique. I really, really want to try the Sweet Peach palette, but I haven't got around to it yet. But in general, I love the Summer Sweet one. I don't use it as much as the original chocolate bar, but it just looks like this. My favourite shade is probably this blue one right here. It's really nice to put on the lash line. It does really make blue eyes pop because it like emphasises the blue. And Peanut Butter in the crease as an initial transition shade is really, really nice too. So that is that one. And then we have the original chocolate bar, which looks like this. I think the packaging for these feel really sturdy as well. I think the packaging feels really nice on these as well, but it just looks something like this. As I've said in many videos, I use this one as highlighter. This shade Marzipan. It's very, very nice. I love Cherry Cordial, which is this red one here. And one very, very unique shade in this is, I think it's called Candide Violet. I might be wrong. Don't quote me on it. But that just looks like this, and it's like a purple with reflex pink in it. It is so nice and so unique. Gilded Ganache again is a favourite, and Black Forest Truffle. I probably use this a lot, probably one of my most used palettes. I think if I was to go away and I needed that one palette, I think this would be really good because there's like brown shades in here as well, like for your eyebrows. There's transition shades. You could use this even as an under eye set and like champagne truffle marzipan as a highlighter, you're good to go with this. I think it's so worth the money, and it does smell of chocolate. I definitely feel like I've shown you a fair few palettes. I think I've probably shown quite a lot. That is not all the palettes. I can show you more maybe in a part 2 if you'd like that. I could do a part 2 of maybe drugstore ones if you'd like that. So make sure you comment below if you would. That's just some of my favourites. That's just some of my favourite ones. It was something that you all requested, so I thought I'd do it. And yeah, that is the finished video. Make sure to thumbs up, comment and subscribe, and I'll possibly see you in a part 2. Thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely day. Bye.